and all was known. You could feel beauty rising.
Hi, my name is Sue Skasky with Vermont Volunteer Services for Animals Humane Society, and welcome to our show For the Animals. Today we have two very big stars, co-stars, which I'm sure a lot of people know. J.D. Green, who is the DJ on Froggy Radio for how many years now?
Almost 14 years.
I love listening to you.
Almost 14 years. It's been a while. Thank you, hon.
It's 100.9
100.9
Yeah.
in Barrie.
And introduce our little...
This is
New.
Badgley, and Badgley has just turned 1 year old, and she is, oh my goodness, becoming a love of my life. Very unexpectedly adopted Badgley.
We were just talking about that before. Can you share how you got her?
Sure. Badgley came into my life almost a year ago now. She was about 5 months old, and I had met someone who took on the challenge of a puppy boxer with
Energy Plus.
Oh yeah, with 5 very young children at the house, and quickly realized that he had gotten himself in over his head.
Yeah.
And called me and asked me if I would consider adopting Badgley. And my initial reaction with my other dog, Buddy, of 16 years, with his health declining, my initial reaction was absolutely not. And I said no for the longest time, and then I went and met Badgley, and it was love at first sight, and
Yeah.
here she is. But totally different dog from Buddy, and really challenging me on many levels.
Well, we met Buddy before through your articles and through
Yes.
pictures, and I know I had a picture of Buddy. I think it's in here. May I share it?
Oh, sure.
Buddy, as you might remember from J.D. talking on the air or in your columns in the book to be written, was your beloved companion that you used to go hiking with and everything. So, and boy, I know how hard it is to lose that companion. I couldn't even say the word dog after I lost Kiwi 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
But Aster came into our lives, and like you said, I had no intention of opening my heart up again. But
Exactly.
the situation presented itself, and what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So I have her.
Oh, yeah. The thing about Buddy is, Buddy has a very large chunk of my heart and soul that belongs to him.
Yeah.
And, I hope you're not listening right now, sweet love.
No.
But no dog will be able to come close to replacing that.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of relationship, completely different. So there's a passion about Buddy. There's a presence that he had when he was around people and interacting with not only me but with others that was just so unique. And I write a column for the Times-Argus newspaper.
So how many have you written so far?
Gosh, I've lost count. I'm thinking somewhere around 15 or 16, somewhere in there.
And I love to read them. It's just, it brings you right into it. It's a very personal sharing
thank you.
experience.
It's there's some columns that I find a little easier to write than others. There's some that are serious, and there are others that are far from serious, like the one that I wrote last night. But there's the thing about Buddy is there's an awful lot to share with regard to the serious side of owning a dog and the impacts they have on you as a human being and how they shape your character.
Right.
And there's so much to be said about that.
Well, Buddy went everywhere with you.
He was
Everywhere.
always with me.
Yeah.
We climbed, I can't even tell you how many mountains. I mean, he climbed Camel's Hump every year of his life, sometimes twice in a year. We've done so much together, so much. And the book that I'm writing is called Beyond the Dog, and it's about memoirs of our life together, and it's about what Buddy has taught me about life. It's about the adventures that we've done together, all the mountains we've climbed. But it's also, there's an awful lot about resiliency of a dog. They're all very resilient animals. I think that trait is almost inert in a dog. And there is so much that we humans can learn from dogs that we can't really learn from other humans. We attempt to, we try to, but dogs set a very profound example on how to live life.
Now, I love what you're saying, and I'm trying to absorb every single word because it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a movie deal out of this after the book.
Well, boy, you are?
Yeah. I am.
Well, my goal right now is to finish this book before I'm 90. I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
But the Times-Argus newspaper in Barrie and Montpelier has done a great job. They're taking a lot of the chapters that I write and condensing them down to shorter versions for this column, this monthly column. It comes out the first Sunday of every month.
I've had people that have read it and said they really enjoyed
It's
looking
good.
forward to that particular paper. Yeah.
It's great. It's a very rewarding experience to meet readers who have been affected by
Yeah.
the column.
You just mentioned that you had just finished one. Would
I
it be
did. Yes.
possible
Sure.
to read?
Sure, I finished it last night, as a matter of fact. I don't know if Badgley will let me.
Will you let me play with you, baby?
She is.
Or do you want me to?
She's wound for sound. I mean, this is a boxer.
And you know what? That's why a lot of people adopt animals, and they have dogs especially, and they have no idea what breeds are built for this and what are built for that. But
Oh, yeah.
if you take on a boxer, you better be ready to
I-
have energy.
I know, very true, and
Well, my friend, who's also on our board, has a three-legged boxer.
Really?
She was down for, she had been in 3 different homes, but because of anxiety, she had bitten through 3 terriers and everything. Terry was her last hope, and he did adopt Brody, but Terry also walks at least a mile a day with Brody. And Brody...
a mile a day with a three-legged
with a
dog.
three-legged dog, and Brody has just packed on weight now that he's eating well, and she's eating well and doing very well. But
Love to hear stories like that.
yeah, but like I said, you better be ready for a puppy for a long time.
Yeah, she's a handful. She
Did you
really
love her?
is. When I drove here today, she was trying to sit on my lap while I drive. So there's lots of columns. There's ones about Thanksgiving that I just wrote not long ago. There's one that I wrote. The first column I wrote after Buddy passed away in August was called The Happy Place. I don't know if you read that yet.
Would you like me to read that one?
Hey, here's the thing. I can write. I can't always read the columns
I
that
know,
write.
I know. Did I start with that one, or would you like to start with?
I'll read the one that I wrote last night.
Okay.
I tend to get a little emotional on.
I understand, that's why I offered to read, but
Some of these.
Let's get the scoop.
Okay, so last night's column that I wrote, this will be published beginning of January. Nobody's heard this, and I haven't edited this down yet, so
Okay.
this is kind of a...
The first sketch.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a column. I think most Vermonters know where Buck's Furniture is in Wolcott, Vermont.
I do by the television commercial.
Yes, it's a very old and famous furniture store, and if you've ever been there, you know it's an experience. So this is my column from last night that I wrote. There I stood, next to Santa Claus, shouting Merry Christmas while waving to passing motorists along Route 15 in Woking. It was a perfect afternoon, sunny and hot. The annual Christmas in July sales extravaganza at Buck's Furniture was on. And this year, Buddy was along for the live remote broadcast that I was hosting on the radio. This was nothing new to Buddy. After all, he had been at countless radio broadcasts over the last 13 years, grand openings, home shows, farm shows, state fairs, parades, coffee shops, snowmobile races, and hundreds more. He was accustomed to the attention, loved to mingle with the crowds, and made so many friends. Often, Froggy listeners would come to my broadcast events just to see Buddy. But on this Christmas in July, Buddy was too hot for petting and needed a break from the commotion. With the temperature approaching 90, Buddy was out of the van and resting in the shade under my table next to his bowl of water. It was then that I had made the mistake that I will never forget. While I stepped away for a quick bathroom break, Buddy decided to seek out a cooler place to pass the time. All dog owners have felt that flash of panic when they've realized their dogs were missing. Just about the moment I discovered Buddy was gone, I heard someone ask, "Aren't you the one with the black dog?" "Yes," I said. "Have you seen him?" "He's off looking for you," the man said.
Oh.
"He snuck in a few minutes ago while some folks opened the door." Most dogs are opportunists, but Buddy was a certified and skilled professional. Moving quickly under the radar, he made himself hardly noticed when he joined others as they made their way into Buck's. And now, with 200 rooms and 3 floors of name brands you know and trust, Buddy was somewhere amongst it all. As the reality set in that Buddy would only travel further into the vast abyss of Buck's Furniture, and maybe never even be found again, I hurried through my next live break on the air before beginning the hunt for my dog. I must have looked a bit out of sorts when I hurriedly flew through the door right into Sandy Howard, the owner of Buck's Furniture. She said, "I hear Buddy is along for the ride again this year." I said, he is, with a nervous smile. Sandy frowned. "He's not in the van on a hot day like this, is he?" "No," I replied. "He's in the shade under the table." "I'd be sure to get out there as soon as I can to say hello to him," Sandy replied. I had about 20 minutes before I was live on the air again. 20 minutes to search out and locate a medium-sized black dog lost somewhere in a never-ending maze of rooms inside rooms. Sweat beaded on my brow as I ran up staircase after staircase, living room after dining room. "Buddy, Buddy," I whispered as loud as I could. And what seemed like hours, frustration set in when I checked my watch and saw that I had less than 10 minutes until my next live break on the air. It was then that I realized that I was lost myself. How would I ever make it back to my broadcast table in time? It seems like it was miles away from where I was, deep inside Buck's Furniture. "You must be looking for someone," a lady said as I flew by. Out of breath, I just closed my eyes and nodded. "You'll find him at some point," she smiled. "He's a very friendly dog." If there are 3 floors and 200 rooms at Buck's Furniture, I bet I bolted through 192 of them, maneuvering like the lead car in the Indianapolis 500. But still no Buddy. I made my way from the 2nd floor to the 3rd, skipping every other step on the way up. Just then I slammed on the brakes. The search was over. There in front of me was my dog, laying on the top of a premium king-size $3,000 Posturepedic mattress, surrounded by a solid cherry 4-post bed. The silk canopy drapes waved gently in the cool breeze from the nearby air conditioner. Buddy laid motionless, eyes fixed on mine, and tip of his tail tapping the memory foam. Buddy's days of living large at Buck's Furniture were over. But one thing is certain, Buddy knows Buck's Furniture, maybe even better than Buck himself.
It's a great article. Oh my God.
So that was a time when I just, I was remembering. I wrote this on Christmas, And I was just remembering
Christmas yesterday.
Christmas yesterday, yes. And I just remembered about that Christmas in July sale in the middle of the summer with Buddy getting lost in Buck's Furniture. And
I hope you send them a copy of that. I'll bet you that
I
gets
will.
framed and it goes into their front foyer. That's awesome.
We'll see.
I love your style of writing, though.
Thank you.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry sometimes. At the time that Buddy was lost, it's like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, he's been lost a few times.
Yeah.
Fell out of the back of my sailboat in the middle of Lake Champlain a couple of summers ago.
I don't remember if we've talked about this.
Yeah, that's the one. Sometimes the rescuer needs rescuing.
Oh, yes.
Fell out of the back of the sailboat, and we owned a sailboat together, and we were sailing across Lake Champlain.
Who was the captain?
I was the captain. He was the skipper.
Okay.
But it's not easy when you're alone on a sailboat, just with you and your dog falls off, and you're not aware that he's gone over the edge
Yeah.
until about a half an hour later, when there's 3 or 4 foot waves out in the middle of the lake. Luckily, he had a yellow life jacket on, which allowed me to spot him with my binoculars and get him rescued.
Yeah. Treading water.
Yes.
I'll bet.
So we've had some experiences together for sure, no question about it.
So tell me, any experiences, any adventures come close with this one?
With Badgley?
Badgley.
Not yet.
I know you had Badgley at the food drive this Thanksgiving.
Yes, we did. Yep. Buddy was always at the annual Stuff a Truck event that we do for the radio station.
You guys did an awesome job.
Thank you.
Okay, 1 truck plus, I know you,
It was 1 truck. It was 19.2 tons of food.
wow, JD.
Yeah.
Was that more than any other year?
It was. Yeah, last year was 18 tons. So.
I remember and it wasn't even the end, when they started bringing all that water in, if there was
Yeah.
nowhere to put it,
Oh,
it's
I
like,
know.
now what?
No, it was incredible.
And the National Guard, and you had so many people there.
Oh yeah, it's an annual thing. This was our 12th year, and Buddy was always part of that, and this was the first year without Buddy. So it was a little different for me. I'm going through. Buddy just passed away a couple of months ago, so now life is a bunch of firsts.
Right.
There was, before Buddy went down, everything was lasts. This will be our last Christmas and our last Thanksgiving and so on and so forth. And now it's a bunch of firsts. This
Yeah.
is my first Christmas without him. This will be my first, birthday without him. And
Coming up soon?
yeah, so it's just different. It's just very different. It's very different. It's bittersweet, really. Badgley, as you can see, keeps me
Busy? Occupied?
distracted. Yes, very much. Yes. So, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. If you're a dog person and you love dogs, how are you going to go without one? I lost Buddy, and it'll never be the same, but I'm a dog person. Dogs make me happy, so
Yeah.
how could you not get another one?
Well, the Aster, the dog that I'm babysitting
Yeah.
for when my friend gets out of the nursing home,
Ah,
is an elderly dog
yeah,
that she's definitely crept into our hearts.
yeah.
Like you said, she's not Kiwi,
Yes,
but she's a sweetheart.
yeah.
And
And
my cat, Skinny Minnie, here's a dog that's almost 100 pounds. She prances in, and my cat that's 6 pounds walks up to her and smacks her in the face.
That's
and
great.
she just averts her head. It's
Alf,
too
that's
funny.
great. I wrote a column called The Alphabet, which is all about that power that you carry around. It doesn't matter how small you are.
Uh-huh.
If you're the alpha, you make it known just with your confidence that
Yeah.
you're the alpha. It doesn't matter if you're a cat or a dog, or if you're small or big. So that's interesting. I love to hear about stuff like that.
I don't know if you read the article or saw it on television about the dog it was New York,
Yes.
whose handicapped owner fainted and he fell into the railroad tracks.
He was blind.
Subway or railroad?
It was in the subway. I
Okay.
believe he was blind.
Blind.
Yep.
And his dog, you know what, you can't see it because of the light behind it. An elderly black lab, you see his white whiskers, jumped in after him and saved his life.
Pulled him off the tracks.
Did you hear what he did? He saw the train coming and he laid down on top of his owner, protecting him from the vehicle going over him.
Did the train pass over him?
Train passed over him.
I didn't know that.
The engineer applied the brakes, but a car and a half went over the both of them before they were able to stop. And this dog was scheduled to be retired, and the man said he couldn't afford, he's the loved dog now, but he couldn't afford to keep him
As a seeing eye dog.
as a companion animal anymore. Because they also thought that the dog's reflexes wouldn't be as sharp and as honed in, but obviously. But through the generosity of people, they came up with $100,000 for this.
That's the part of the story I really want to know more about, is why was $100,000 need to be raised to keep this relationship between these two?
I don't know whether it was just, it snowballed and that's how high it got, or maybe people, that story touched so many people,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
It's just incredible.
What
It's
animals,
wonderful.
what animals will do for people. So it's Hug Your Dog Day. Cuddle your cat, hug your dog, protect all your animals. And thank you for watching our show For the Animals, and please join in again next week. And also, if you see any good articles that you want us to follow up on, please don't hesitate calling us. Thank you.
At dusk, there came a turning. There was a moment when all was known. You could feel